Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Thursday. It's May 7th. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and I already did one chart lesson, and so this is the second one. I have no idea what happened to the first recording. I saved it, and it got hung up when it was compiling, and poof, I don't know where it went. I've searched my whole computer. It's not here. I just don't know. I've been having a lot of problems. I'm actually in the process of upgrading my computer. I've ordered me a new one. It's time for an upgrade. This recording software is uh, it's very good, but it's a memory hog, and the computer I'm using now had it for 8 or 9 years, and I've never updated it. I really don't, for trading purposes, I don't need to, but for the recording purposes, it just takes up a whole lot of memory, and I can't put any more memory on this one, and it's just not enough. And I think it's a memory issue when the video gets too long. So as you can guess, my video was too long. So for that reason, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go over a couple of things, and I'm going to show you a few of these trades. I probably won't even do them all because I don't feel like going through them all again, and I apologize. But I should have a new computer soon, and probably I think I've got 4 times the memory. I think this computer only has 8 MB of memory, or may only be 6. I don't know. But anyway, my new one's got 30 something, so we won't have this problem anymore. And first thing I want to tell you about was several people keep asking me about looking at the ES and trading off the MES. I don't recommend doing that. If you're going to trade the EMS, just trade the EMS. However, there's also the option, if you go to our website and just look under the premium member content, or you can look over here on the recent post. You can see it right there. It'll be there for a little bit longer. It'll eventually fall off. But just click on the premium member content, and there it is right there. How to trade how to watch and trade on the ES, but actually execute your trades on the MES. And several people have used it. Says it works great. I haven't tried it. It's free to download for any of our members. After a couple of weeks, when all of our members have had a chance to download this, so my server doesn't get swamped and overridden by several thousand people coming in here trying to download this all at one time, I'm just going to make it available to the members first, let them get first shot at it. Then in a week or two, I will open it up to anybody that wants to use it. It's nothing special, but it's some directions. And basically, when you open this up, you won't be able to see it because I'm not logged in here. Uh, It'll ask me to either register or log in. So, but there'll be right down here, you'll see the name of the file. It's a Word file, and there's a little download button. And you just click on that download button. It'll instantly download it, open it up, and there's 4 or 5 lines of instructions that tells you how to do it. And several people have used it and says it works great. So try it. And if you do try it, feel free to comment on this video or any of the others how it's going, or if you want to email me and let me know, I'll be happy to pass that along. So while we're here, I want to show you a couple of other things. If you look right here, there's a frequently asked questions page, and probably I would say there's 4 or 5 questions on here on this page of frequently asked questions where I've already answered it, that I'll get that email 6 or 7 times a day from different people every day. So please, before you ask me a question, come look at this page and read it closely, because there's a lot of good information. It explains how we do a lot of this stuff. It explains all these questions, these basic questions that people ask. They're all here. And it'll save me an email. I mean, literally, when I came in at 7 o'clock this morning, I already had 100 emails waiting on me that came in overnight. And so then by the time I weed through those by lunchtime and go to lunch and come back, I got another 100 waiting on me. So I'm really just spread super thin. So it's getting to the point where I'm getting further and further behind on the email. So if you sent me an email and I don't answer, don't give up on me. I will answer it, but it's just I can't do it so many at one time. But if people would come read these frequently asked questions first, it would save me a lot of emails of having to say, go to this link, go to this link, go to this link. Before you ask me any question, please come to this page right here and hit frequently asked questions and read through this. Because I send it to people, I actually send this to people, and they'll turn right around and ask me one of these questions. So I know they don't even read it when I send it to them. So you'd be shocked. There's really some good information here. Stuff that most people would charge you to see that you can come here and see for free, even if you're not a paying member or even if you never bought anything from our website. I don't care about that. Just come read this rather than asking me. Just do a little bit of homework. So I'm not preaching or mad or anything, but it would just help me because I'm just getting so many emails. When I only got these questions once or twice a day, it was no big deal. But literally, I'm getting 25 questions a day that are right off of this page. And so it would help you and help me because you wouldn't have to write the email, and then I wouldn't have to read it and send you this link and tell you to go here to read it. And even worse, tell you to go here, and then you write back the next day and ask me another question off this list. So it's all here. Just about every one of your basic questions are on this page. These are questions I get almost daily here. So make sure you look at that, please, just to help me and to help you. One other thing, people sometimes there's so much on this site that people have a hard time finding it. But if you go to the bottom of any of our pages, this probably wasn't a good one because of all the comments, but you'll see down here where you can contact me. There's some other stuff, legal stuff are required to put on there, but you see that site map. Just click on that. And everything posted on this site is right here. And you can go through there and look for anything you want to find. I mean, there's just pages of stuff. A lot of this stuff is the daily midday charts. And if you go all the way to the bottom down here, way down here, you'll see the pages. And that shows you all the different pages in case you're just looking for a page. But all the posts with all the articles and the video lessons are all listed right here. And as you watch them, you can tell the link's been clicked on, and you'll know what you've watched and hadn't watched. That's an easy way to track it. I'm actually working on a new page. It's going to have links. They'll take you directly to the articles. You can just like go to the page, and it won't have so much stuff on the page. It'll be in categories, and if you want to watch second entries, it'll have a list of videos for that. If you want to study ranges, it'll have links for that. So I'll have that up soon, but I can't get to it. I can only work on it a little bit every day because I've only got so many hours in a day, and I'm spread. I mean, literally, I've been putting in, trying to do my own trading and answer emails and take care of everybody. It's been 10-hour days lately, and I can't keep that up for very long. The reason I got into this was to get away from those kind of days, but I enjoy this, and I'm not complaining, so please don't take it that way. I enjoy everything I do, and I enjoy helping people, but I'm really have spread myself a little thin. So enough about that. Let's move on. This trader sent me her chart here, and she asked about a failed second entry short right here. Make it a little bigger. She's got the trend right. Her trend line looks pretty good. It's probably a little bit flatter than that, but that's close enough. I don't have any problem with that trend line. People, that's another thing. People get all bent out of shape because their chart doesn't look just like mine. And I'll show you one other thing when we get back to the front chart. But notice this is all one move up. Notice there's no sign of bearishness all the way up here until you get your first sign, and then you get your second sign. So the way I would play this is I would call this a double bottom, and then this would be your first entry, and then that your second entry. Because that's not really a leg right there. It's just like a little jog down, and they're not perfectly equal, but just count that as a new low, and then first entry, second entry. Let me show you how I would have. So this is what I actually sent back to the trader. And you can see this. It moves up, you get your first break, then it moves to a new high, and you get a bear. You actually, that bar is probably too neutral. But when you got this bar, just go short one tick below that bar. This still makes the high, so that's still your signal bar, and that would have been a great entry. And I don't know which way that broke first, to be honest. So if you'd went short right there, you might have still got stopped out. But when it made that bar right there, I'd take that trade. So count that as a double bottom, is a new low, and look at all that move up, and there's your first close outside your little signal bar, and then there's your new high, and then look at it go. So she had the right idea going short here. It's just a little bit early. Try all these short-term micro trends and let them play out, especially with this overshoot here. that means you're probably going to get an overshoot on this side soon. And that would have been a clue to be real careful here. Make sure that you get a good setup. And that's the other thing. Her signal bar right here, this is an inside. You can't see it now, but it's an inside bar to that bar. It's got equal highs and lows. So inside bars like that are equal are not good signal bars, to be honest. I mean, if there was a good, clear second entry there, I probably wouldn't be afraid to take that trade, but there's not. It's just all one big bullish move up. So let that play out. Okay, I'm going to show you. I can't remember if I showed this in the first video only or if I've shown it in this one too. So I'm going to show it again just in case. But people worry all the time because their chart doesn't look exactly like mine. Your chart doesn't have to look. Don't fret over your chart not looking like mine. As long as you have a similar number of bars, that's all that matters. No two tick charts will ever look exactly the same. But here I'm going to show you a little tip with your mouse. Right click, not left click, right click, and then look for data series and make sure you're loading 21 days of data right there. Put 21 in there, and then on session template, drop this down and make sure you choose CME US Index Futures ETH2, and then hit apply and OK. And then you will have the same data series set up and the same, because that can make a difference when your bars start counting and what time and all of that, and when they stop counting. So make sure you have, and the number of days, so make sure you put 21 days of data, and that'll probably help your chart look closer to mine. So hopefully you've got that option. If you don't, then you can't, nothing you can do. But if you got NinjaTrader, you can choose those options. So, and that will definitely help your chart look closer to mine. Okay, I would be amiss if I did not put this gentleman's chart on the screen. First of all, today is his birthday. And he sent me a little email this morning, all giddy and excited about his perfect second entry and the 10 points he made on his runner here. And it's his birthday, so he got a nice birthday present. But he's also was on his way to play 18 holes of golf, and then he was going to come home tonight and put him some red meat, he said, probably a steak or something on the grill. So that's a man after my own heart. There's nothing I like better than trading, golfing, and grilling a steak and eating a steak for dinner. Those three of my favorite things. So me and this gentleman would probably make great buddies if we lived close by. But anyway, he sent me this chart. And oh, by the way, he said it's his birthday. So happy birthday. I won't call his name. I almost called his name. But happy birthday, my man. And hope you had a great day at golf, and wish I'd have been out there with you. But anyway, he was bragging about this and almost dared me to put it up. So I'm going to put it up. And I don't want to rain on his birthday party or on his great trade, because it is a second entry. Notice your new high. It is with the trend. And so he did, just because he got a second entry with the trend, it turned into a great trade. And he said he got a 10-point runner, which would be easy on this trade. But it's not a very good setup. It's actually a horrible setup. And he's lucky that it didn't break higher right there and turn down on him. So let me show you something. There's your new high. That's right. You got your first entry. And then this is your signal bar. Notice how it makes the swing low, not this one. Your signal bar is not arbitrary. The price action structure sets up the signal bar, and it's always the highest bar in the swing or the lowest bar in the swing. Signal bar. You could actually count either of those because of double top. Signal bar. Notice how these are all the swing lows. Signal bar. You can't decide that, hey, this is too bearish, so I'm going to make this the signal bar. I'm assuming that's what he did, because he's got second entry mark there. So I think he went long right there. He didn't put his trade on there, so maybe he just went long above that. But that is a terrible, terrible mistake, because look how bearish that is. And and look how that looks like all one move down through there. It's a miracle that didn't tick up a couple of ticks higher and turn down and make a measured leg down just like it before it went higher. Because that's what will happen 9 times out of 10. So this is not a good trade. It worked out great, but just make sure you understand what you did wrong, because it worked this time. And Maybe it's because it's your birthday. Maybe you got a little early birthday present. But I promise you, 9 times out of 10, it will break higher and turn down and make another equal leg to that one and get you a two-legged correction, and then right in the middle, that'll be the center, and then you'll get your next leg. Because these were two perfect measured legs up to the T, to the tick. So, but this is your signal bar, and you have to go along one tick above that, and you can't use a bearish signal bar like that. Now, if it broke lower and turned up and went out the other side, I might be all for it. But you can't just arbitrarily decide that, hey, I'm gonna make this the signal bar and go along one tick there, and you can't just go one tick above that bar without it breaking lower and then turning, and because you need to know it's a trap, and that's not really a trap. So I hope he realizes what he did wrong. Yeah, here, I assume this entry will get mentioned in your daily video. And he's got very nice second entry long. But it's not a real good second entry. It's a perfect second entry, but it's not a very good entry because that's your signal bar and it's just way too bearish. So again, not trying to rain on your party. You did several things right. You got the trend right. You got the second entry right. You did a lot of things right here. And that just goes to show you, if you just trade with the trend instead of trying to pick tops and go short here, most people will start trying to short this all the way up. When if you just wait for a pullback and get on with the trend, even if you do it wrong, a lot of times you'll get it right. Look what happened. Every time prices came back to this trend line, takes off, takes off. Even when it got the break, it takes off. Came back again, takes off. Just be patient and wait on prices. But most people they're looking for a trade on every bar. Where I'm only looking for a trade when it comes back to my trend line. And then you got your overshoot. So you already had a break here in a new high, so it didn't matter. But let's just assume this was right off the trend line. Then you get your overshoot. Hey, that's your clue. It's fixing to reverse or turn the other direction. Some good things here, but that's not a real good second entry. Sorry. I hate to burst your birthday bubble, but it's just because the only reason I say that is because I don't want you to reinforce a bad habit, because the next 8 or 9 times you try that, it'll fail. I promise you. Okay, I'm gonna end this thing pretty quickly because I've already done 30 minutes. Now here's another 20 minutes, and you just basically had a trend up during the overnight that went sideways. And notice there's 2 tiers to this. You got your tier down here, you one up here, but this is a little spiking channel, and then you had a 2-legged correction, and it made a measured leg up. If you measure that right, that right there, then I'm just having all kind of problems. And then measure from right there, you get a perfect measured move. You'd probably want to measure it from here too first, and if it kept going higher, then just move it up here. Get you real close. You actually may want to measure it from right there, because that's really where that started. If you measure from there and then come over here to here, that gives you basically a perfect measured move. So that would have been your target, but you could have done it this way too. There's your other way. And somebody asked this on a question the other day, what the value of this was. I mean, this is not something you want to trade off of. What this does is just tells you where prices are going, so you know that you're going in the right direction. So I hope that's clear. It gives you a target, and you know when to exit. If you've got a runner running up through here, you know that you want to exit up here because you've got 2 different targets showing you this is the target. You got this first leg that measured up, and then you got this range, and you measured that. Both of them point to the same place, and look what happens. Prices go there, and then they reverse. But people that don't know that, they're still getting long up here. So there's great value in that. If you don't see the value in it, of course, we're not using it to base our trades. We're just using it for targets and to understand where prices are probably headed. Market geometry is real. If anybody tells you it's not, just don't talk to them anymore, because they don't know what they're talking about. I can show you on these charts every day where these targets move to the tick. Is it 100%? No, nothing in trading is 100%. But I can show you over and over, just like this leg right here. You had that leg up, and you started your next one. Perfect measured move, and you knew when to exit. I can show you this stuff over and over and over every day. And if you don't see the value in it, then that's okay. But there's great value in it. So all right, I'm going to talk about a few trades. I'm ending this thing at 25 minutes. I'm sorry, that's as far as I'm going. But anyway, we're moving up here. We're moving up. You make a new high. First entry, you come back second entry. It confirms that little channel right there. Only problem is you got an inside bar. It's not a very good bar, but it is at the key entry point. It confirms the channel. So you might take that trade. I marked it green. It's just not a very good setup. And notice how you just kind of get stuck in there. And you don't really get any good setups here to trade that little range until you get a little breakout here on a second entry. I don't have a very good signal bar right there. It's too neutral. Somebody else sent me their chart and they had a pretty good one right there. If you did, you could take that trade. You actually get a double top with a big bearish bar there with room, so I like that one. It's still real close into the EMA, but you're probably going to get prices coming back to at least this low in the trend line, and it does. And then you get a second entry long right at the key entry point and down here with plenty of room to get out, so I like going long there. And then we just kind of get stuck back in there again. Here's another little breakout, and then it makes a double top, and you still got a little ways, but that signal bar doesn't end very good. I think it went out the top and came back down. So it's a possibility depending on how your chart's set up. I'm not going to mark it red, but I'll mark it green. And then notice what happens. We come down. You got a double top, so new high, and you got kind of a first entry, and there's a little jog up there, but then it comes down and you get a double test. And I'd still count that as a second entry long. Big bullish bar. If it breaks above those three matching highs, it's probably going to shoot on up. You still got room to get out before here. And sure enough, it does. And then where does it turn down? To the tick at the upper trend channel line. It's just a first entry though. But look how far away it is. And your trend line's still working up there. There's no real sign of bearishness yet. So that one's a little risky. I marked it green. And you finally get a lower high here. But again, that's a big move down. And you're not back to the EMA, and really you got that trend line right there. But of course you're going, it shot through it, and you're going short below it. But that's not a great setup. It's not bad, but it's not a great one. I'd like to see it correct a little more, because a lot of times you'll take that trade and it'll turn right back up, and then turn back, and make a second leg up, and then turn down. You got a lower high here again, but still that you've got a break now, and you're still not back to the trend line, and it's too late in the move, and you see it doesn't go far before it bounces. But notice how you're moving up here, and you get a first entry short, and then you move on up and you get a second entry short, and you got so that's a little reversal pattern. There's actually, I believe there's another little tick. No, it's not. You're moving up, first entry. See how there's a little jog there, but that's still all one move down. I'm still going to treat that like a failed second entry short. Actually, you could have counted it as failed second entry when it broke up right there, but there's no entry. But when it comes back down here and makes that low and gives you a bullish bar, that's still basically all in the same move. I like that one. And you actually get another little failed second entry short here. Notice, because that swing's really lower than that one. So first entry. And again, that's all one move down. So it's almost a little repeat pattern. Notice how it does jog up just a little. So if you saw that, there's no reason you couldn't trade that one too. I didn't mark it because most people wouldn't notice that, but it is a little repeat pattern. And notice you got your break now, two measured legs up, and that's two perfect measured legs. There's your first move down, and then you get a little lower move right there. That's not a great signal bar. I actually thought this broke higher on another trader sent me their chart, and it broke higher and turned down, and I thought it broke higher on mine, but now that I've zoned in, I'm still kind of far out. But now that I've zoned in, mine doesn't break higher. So in that case, I wouldn't take that trade because you need that little trap. Still works great, but it's just not a very good setup. And then notice what happens here. First entry, and it goes higher. And so when that breaks higher and turns back down, that's still a second entry short right there. It's kind of an oddball second entry short, but that's still 2 legs back to the EMA, and it broke higher and turned and went down. Then of course we got a first entry, second entry. So that's a failed second entry short, but you're right there into a lot of resistance. But when it pushes up and pulls back, and it actually breaks lower and turns up. If we break higher there, that's a repeat pattern. I showed you one just like it earlier. I marked it green because it's not a great setup, but it is a repeat pattern. So if it breaks higher there, we're probably going to run on up and test the highs, which it does. And then notice you made that low. Actually, this would have been here at that point. You make that low, you test it once, you test it twice. Look how bullish that bar is. It's a double test. There's a little bit of resistance here, but the fact that we pushed on up, you're probably got at least to there to be safe. So as long as you got enough room there, plus you got this trend working up now, and everything is above the former resistance count pretty much right there on those two couple of closes. And then you run up and you come back. By now I would have moved this up. So now you got another double test of this low. 1 test, 2 test, and this, look how bullish that bar is. So another bullish test, and that's where it took on off. And that's where the other trader took his trade. But he had a little second entry right there, which I don't even have. But I don't remember noticing the double test on his chart either. So that would have been another reason. But his bar was not like mine. See, I got matching lows, and mine's an outside bar where his didn't have matching lows. It started a little higher and then went higher. So it just goes to show you how one chart can look a little different than another. Because I like that trade on my chart, but I didn't like it on his chart. So hopefully you can see the difference there. Actually, I'm curious. I'm going to go back and look at his chart. He does have a double test there. If you draw his line, there's a double test. But again, this bar doesn't touch the line. This one does. So that's his signal bar. And that's the difference in those two trades. Just that one little tick can make all the difference in the world. And even though his worked, I'm just telling you, if you use a signal bar like that, it's going to break higher and you're going to get another leg down, and then it's going to turn up. So we'll just say that worked because it looks good on my chart. So that you need to send me half of those profits. The birthday boy needs to send me half his profits. So no, I'm kidding. But that can show you the difference in how a trade can set up and make a little difference, because it looks good on my chart, or it looks better. Let's just call it that. And there's a couple more trades. Notice these are off support, going on a little range. And then you got some shorts down through here that are all off the trend channel line or second entries or something. That's a second entry. This one was a second, no, it's not a second entry. It was a failure. No, it is a second entry. First entry, second entry. And then you got a failed second entry, and then a second entry short right here. And again, that's an inside bar, but notice how they're matching highs. That's usually okay. Another second entry right here, another second entry short right there, and that took you into 2 o'clock. So I'm wrapping this up. 30 minutes. That's longer than I wanted. So I've done an hour worth of videos. So tomorrow's Friday. No chart lessons on Fridays. I'll probably use tomorrow to try to do some of the stuff I need to do on the website. But I'm going to wrap it up for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.